You're listening to the one news show that keeps you informed on the world around you. This is 41.1 The Info Loop. What's happening, guys? This is Mikhail Nelson, and you're listening to 41.1 The Info Loop. I've got an interesting story for you today from the Canadian press. Apparently, Michael Phelps wants to get into the tech industry. According to the Canadian press, Michael Phelps for now is not providing any details on what exactly he's going to do within the tech industry, but for now, all he's saying is that he is going to be investing in some small companies in the tech industry to get started. All I can say is that this may be a nice change of pace for Michael Phelps, especially as a way to rebrand himself, and I'm going to get into that a little bit later. But the tech industry itself is a very vast, very huge, and ever-evolving, fast-paced, and very competitive industry, and can range from a lot of things like gadgets and smart devices like your iPhone to something as big as the video game industry, which is literally the biggest thing in tech right now. It's even outpacing the film industry by millions of dollars, which is really amazing when you think about it. But I've also seen a lot of creative stuff come out of the tech industry, like flying cars, and yes, that is actually a thing. If you don't believe me, look up Terrafugia and Aeromobile. Those should be your first place to look when it comes to that sort of thing. It's amazing what those guys can do with when you put automobiles and planes together. Other crazy things that I have seen out of the tech industry include giant mechanoids. And no, I am not kidding you. It's actually a real thing. If you haven't heard of Megabots, they created the Megabot Mark II, and they were supposed to go up against Tsutobashi Industries and their mech known as the Kuratas. There was supposed to be a mech battle between Megabots and Tsutobashi Industries going on in Las Vegas, Nevada, but due to some complications, the mech battle never took place, and as of now, the mech battle seems to be on hold until further notice, but we don't know the full details with that as of right now. But all that aside, like I said before, this is a good change of pace for Michael Phelps, especially where his Olympic career is concerned after his recent history of drinking and driving. As if I remember correctly, while he was competing in Rio, he got disqualified, yet still for some reason was still able to compete. And after that and other repeated offenses when it came to drinking and driving, I don't think he'll be able to compete in the Olympics again. So getting into the tech industry may be a good way to rebrand himself, and on top of that, make a good chunk of change, because there's a lot of smaller companies that are looking to make it big within the industry, from indie game developers to small tech companies that are looking to make the next big gadget, and anything from those little hoverboards that people like to use to smart devices and even apps. There's so much that he could do within the tech industry. So if he's looking to make some small investments, he should find some small little tech companies, especially companies that are looking to make small little apps that people can use, maybe even invest in a few indie game studios looking to make the next big game. Or maybe I'm thinking in terms of small potatoes here. Let's just say he invests in some startup company that's similar to Icon Aircraft or Terrafugia or maybe even Megabot. Small little companies that are kind of like that are looking to make the next big thing, because a lot of people in business nowadays, they really don't like taking risks. So if he were to take some risks, and this is something that not just investors but all people in business need to learn to do, is that when you take big risks, you'll start reaping the rewards. And this is something that I think may work out in his favor, because there's, like I said, there's a lot of creativity within the tech industry, some innovative, some creative, and he may strike gold. He may find the next big thing. You know what? if anything, maybe you should invest in virtual reality, because that's going to be really big within the next decade. So he might want to start investing in that. The sky's the limit when it comes to technology. I'm sure there are going to be many things for him to find when he starts getting into it. Now, if I can offer some words of advice, one of them being taking risks, because a lot of people nowadays can't seem to do that. The second piece of advice is that the company that you're investing in should listen to their consumer. I have seen a lot of companies mess up in this regard, and they see a lot of their own profits just crash because they don't listen to the consumer. They don't know what their consumers want. And so pretty much it just ends up hurting them in the end more than anything. So if he's going to invest in a company, make sure that the company that he's investing in actually pays attention to what their consumers want. And my third and final piece of advice would be to keep your politics out of tech. Just don't. It honestly just hurts the tech industry more than anything. I've seen how it nearly destroyed the gaming industry because people can't seem to stop putting their politics in places where it doesn't belong. And of course, with that being said, you have things like nepotism, a lack of ethics, and all sorts of things. So it's really something that you should watch out for. And just try to keep your nose clean. If anything, try to avoid companies that are not ethical, that don't follow the rules, that don't follow regulations, things like that. And I have seen, in my personal experience, I have seen what politics does to communities. It divides them. Within the video game industry, around 2 years ago, the gaming industry was nearly split in half because people couldn't even do their jobs properly. And I'm trying to do this without flying off into a rant. I'm really trying, but I'm half tempted to do so. But in any case, so basically the people who were responsible for that event happening couldn't keep the ethics in check, and so there was like a lot of nepotism and cronyism going on, and there was a lot of gatekeeping going on as well when it came to politics in the tech industry, or at least in gaming where I was from. And you had people so mad at each other that it nearly just broke the gaming community in half and just split the entire community down into two factions. Mostly in America, but it was still worldwide, and it was a real shame to see. It's gotten better now. It's gotten a lot better now, but it should tell you a lesson that sometimes politics should not be in places where it doesn't belong. And so whatever your politics are, just keep them out of the workplace, wherever you work. Politics is politics. Don't conflate them with something else, because in the end, it's not only going to hurt the company, it's going to hurt the investors, and it hurts everybody. It's insane. And my last piece of advice would be just enjoy it. If you're not having fun with it, if you're not enjoying it, then what's really the point? It's like you're just getting into something as a means to an end. No passion, no love, no nothing. It's just a means to make money, really. I mean, heck, you could probably start up a YouTube channel and just do videos on tech. Do you know how many people just make videos on unboxings, or do product reviews, or game reviews, or commentary and other stuff? You can go for hours and hours just talking about different tech, learning about different tech. Some people who have tech channels, they knew nothing about technology, and then by the end of it, they knew everything about technology, from cameras to smartphones to headphones, up and down, all over the place. And most people, they go into the channel because they know about technology already. I don't know how much Michael Phelps knows about technology, but it may be fun for him just to document his findings, experiment, and have fun. And on top of that, he'll be able to build a fan base that way. it's something he might want to consider, because while he's doing his investing, he can just do the YouTube channel on the side, meet people within the community, network, and above all, have fun. And he's going to be bound to find something new within the tech industry. There's always something new going on within the tech industry. New tech comes out practically every week, and not just during the trade shows. There's always some new sort of innovation, the next big thing, whether it be the hoverboards, the next big iPhone, or something to that effect. And because of that, he may find other companies to invest in, which is a good thing. And speaking of discovering new things, one of the things that the tech industry has always been good at doing is creating jobs. The tech industry has been known to create some of the most unorthodox jobs the world has ever seen. And I'm not just talking about engineer or programmer, no. I'm talking about jobs like professional gamer, vlogger, or maybe even YouTuber, or probably just giving opportunities to other artists like photographers or videographers, or just small-time movie makers who do the craft as a hobby. There is so much going on within the tech industry when it comes to jobs. So if you're looking for jobs, you can get creative, or you can be a part of something big that's maybe taking place, something big, something new that's going to evolve into something huge later on down the road. Especially in an economy where people are desperately looking for jobs, this is something to consider when getting into the tech industry. You can find a lot of jobs there. But as I said before, this industry can be very competitive, whether you're being creative with a new type of job, or if you're working with an established company. You have to be good at your craft in order to compete with the best of the best and earn your place within the industry. So for an investor like Michael Phelps, who's just investing in small companies, there are other investors who may find something bigger and better, so he has to watch out, because if he doesn't play his cards right, he might not be able to make it within the industry itself. But like I said, the sky's the limit. There are many possibilities within the tech industry. There's always something new and crazy going on. And whatever Mr. Phelps gets into, I wish him all the best in his future business endeavors. Well, that's all the time I have for this week. Tune in next week for when I have another interesting story for you. And until then, free your mind. This is Mikhail Nelson, and you've been listening to 41.1 The Info Loop.